This week in Focus Outdoors, we're going on a turkey hunt in Minnesota with Mike Curry of Minnesota's DNR. Mike is a mentoring coordinator and understands we need to bring new people into the outdoors for the future of hunting and fishing. Mike invited us to visit more about tactics and techniques with an emphasis on equipment. We did get out for a little bit to go hunting also. The turkeys across America are a success story of conservation. At one time in our country, turkeys virtually had disappeared from many areas. And who steps up to the plate to make sure that they had a chance to come back? The hunters of this country, America's true conservationist. To lead the comeback of the turkey was the National Wild Turkey Federation. NWTF rallied the troops, put a game plan in place, and the comeback began. Wow, what a success story. Turkey hunting appeals to the young, the old. There are very few things in the outdoors that are as exciting as a big tom going into full strut and gobbling like crazy. If you want to learn more about how to hunt turkeys, stay tuned to Focus Outdoors Television.
Hi, Mike Coldfront Curry here with the Minnesota DNR, and I am the Mentoring Program Coordinator. And what that means is that I actually work with organizations and individuals, whether it be kids, adults, or families, and introducing them to the great outdoors. And as we know, there's nothing like the great outdoors to teach Mother Nature's lessons out there. And we have a program that we've been doing for at least 10 years right now, closer to 12, with the National Wild Turkey Federation, and it's a Learn to Turkey Hunt program where we match up adults, kids, and families with mentors from the National Wild Turkey Federation and their chapters. They do a tremendous job introducing not only the kids and the families to turkey hunting, but the ethics of it, the habitat about turkey hunting. They talk about habits of the turkey. They talk about the land and the acorns and the fields and the waterways, everything that's important to turkeys and for other wildlife out there. So Turkey Federation really understands that at this point in time we're losing turkey hunters. We're losing hunters in general, and they've really got the Save the Habitat, Save the Hunt program where they work hard in trying to match up people from their chapters who are passionate about passing on turkey hunting, and then matching them up with people who, well, they're not sure they like deer hunt or turkey hunt or duck hunt or grouse hunt or whatever it might be, but by the end of the time, whether they shoot a turkey or not, they've got the passion. Most of the people, you hear that first gobble in the morning and the hair on the back of your neck just stands up, and oh my gosh, this is what it's about? Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it's not quite so bad, but especially when something's going on out there, if you can have a real conversation with a turkey, and I like to call it Dr. Doolittling, there's something about that, like you do with a duck, whether you do it with elk hunting, all these things where you can really have a conversation with them that makes hunting and that tremendous opportunity to get up close and personal with them. And oh yeah, pulling the trigger's cool, but I tell you what's most important about getting outdoors is that connection that you get with the outdoors and the people you spend that time with. You might think this is overkill. Not really. The turkey, unbelievable eyesight. In any motion, they will pick it up, and they're not like deer. They don't hesitate. They're gone. That's how they survive. If they see motion, they're gone. These urban turkeys that you see out there, and I'm talking about ones with 3 toes and a back toe. No, that's a whole different ball game. But these wild turkeys out here, they don't survive by making mistakes out there. And so camouflage is very important. Your eyes are very important. Anything that's flashy, if you have a wristwatch that's well, checking the sun out and reflecting, that's not going to go. Or wearing white socks might be another area. Don't. Everything, head to toe camouflage, very important. And another very important thing about camouflage and the clothes that you're wearing, especially right now here in central Minnesota where we're at, deer ticks. You want to be very careful. I've happened to have been bitten twice, and one time there was snow on the ground. So you need to be very careful and very vigilant. I've been using tick repellent on my pants, jackets, boots, and the whole 9 yards. You don't want to take a chance with these debilitating diseases. I tell you, they are nasty. But camouflage, head to toe, is a key. And then if you have a blind out there, that's also good. If you've got a short blind, something to cover up any motion, because even bringing up the gun, like something like that, they'll pick up on that motion. So you need to be very careful. So when you do see a turkey and you're in position to maybe shoot, no sudden motions, because again, that turkey will just be gone. They don't hesitate. But we're speaking of turkeys, how about a couple of turkey decoys? You know, a lot of times we don't always use turkey decoys. Sometimes you want the turkeys to look for you. That works a lot of times, and sometimes they need a visual. Sometimes they need a little motion. So on a windy day, actually these decoys will move a little bit. A little live action works quite well. And you may notice I've got a Jake here behind, and a Jake is it's a year-old turkey, and their beard is probably 4 inches or under. But they are like a teenager. They don't know what to do with all the hormones. So they'd love to see if they can find a date for the day. But the big toms may, they may send him away in a hurry. But he is behind chasing the hen in this case. And the hen, you can also have her in a little bit more of a tip-down motion right now. You want her to be relaxed. If she's standing upright and heads all around, that indicates that she's very nervous, and she might be she'll start doing some putting and doing it very fast, and so that is that could be a negative. So with turkey hunting, you have to shoot it in the head. If you're a bow and arrow hunter, that's a little bit different. Then you do have to take a body shot, but that's where archery is much more of a challenge with turkey hunting, because you've got a very small target for the heart. So it is a real challenge turkey hunting, but I suggest that you, again, take that Jake whenever you get a chance, or that gobbler, no problem. It's a trophy. Trust me, any turkey's a trophy. But it's also important too with the shotgun. This happens to be a pump. There's turkey guns that they can spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on them. The key is camouflage. You can see even on the firearm, that's very important. It also you use a little bit different shot with turkeys than you do other wild game. In this case, you use lead in the 4.56 is the correct size, and you can get 2 3/4 to 3.5 inch. What's important here is that when you pattern your shotgun, you want to know exactly where that shot is going to go when you're aiming for that head, and you need to make sure that you've got so many BBs in your little pattern that you may have used in the field. You've got to know how many BBs are going to get in that head. If you've got only 1 or 2 there, then you're going to have to change your chokes, or you're going to have to change ammunition, because every gun's different. Every ammo shoots differently out of every gun. So you really, for confidence, not only for yourself, but other people, and to be fair to the game, you need to make sure that you practice. When you see that bird, you're not having to think about the shot, you're reacting to the shot, which will make you a better hunter in the long run. But the other important part of here is the choke itself. And the choke is very important. As you learned in firearm safety, You've got an improved cylinder, You've got all these cylinders all up to full. This happens to be a turkey choke, which really chokes down the end. In other words, you have a very narrow pattern. And a lot of people don't even feel comfortable beyond 20 yards with some shotguns, but I have taken birds up to 60 yards, but I've got confidence because I practice on it. But it does, you need that narrow band of pellets that hit the head on the turkey. That's very important, because if he's scattered like a lot of the improved cylinders and stuff like that do when you're shooting grouse as an example, you need as much out there as you can, because those little pocket rockets go. And speaking of going, these birds are very fast afoot. You cannot believe how fast they can, well, come upon you after you've been calling, like we had today. We had one we swore was 200 yards away, and he cut the distance down, and so did we, and we met in the middle, and the turkey won.
Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we've customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds to make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
No matter the size, age, or activity level of your best friend, you want a dog food that's natural, feeds great, and is full of all the goodness you demand. That's what we pack into every bag of Country Vet Naturals. Country Vet Naturals are just what the name says, natural goodness in every bag. We also make grain-free cat and dog food and treats. Learn more and find a dealer at countryvetnaturals.com. Country Vet Naturals, loved by pets, trusted by owners.
Well, as you might be able to tell, I spend a lot of time behind a shotgun. Whether it's at the clay target fields, sporting clays fields, doing exhibitions, or bird hunting, I always trust my shooting skills to the Rio Elite. Not only for the lighter recoil, but as you can tell, the harder hitting, consistent patterns. These clay targets don't stand a chance when you shoot Rio Elite.
Make your next day on the water even better with Airwave Pedestal, the only air suspension system that can be custom adjusted to the weight of the rider. No unreliable springs, no oil-filled shocks to leak. Our patented design utilizes a two-stage suspension system to smooth out the roughest ride, while limiting travel to an industry-leading 2 inches. This boating season, enjoy your time on the water to the fullest. Find out how at airwavepedestal.com.
Remember, everything's camouflage here. If you have a turkey and you've harvested it, make sure you get some orange on there. Not to mention having to make sure that you have tagged that bird on the spot. That's very important, and it's the legal thing to do. But safety, again, and orange is very important once you've harvested that bird. Some of the essentials of turkey hunting, you can't leave home without them, especially us old-timers, but tell you what, the binoculars are super important. Remember, I told you earlier that turkeys, boy, they've got tremendous eyesight, they see motion, and quite frankly, my old mentor, when he taught me about turkey hunting, he said if turkeys could smell, they'd be unhuntable. So that is very key that you see them first, because most of the time, if you can see them, they can see you. So you want to do everything you can to see them first and make sure that you're out of sight and thus out of mind. So binoculars, very important. Use them. It's very important that you have water out there. And of course, one of the most important essentials, you have to have toilet paper. You never know when Mother Nature is going to, well, ring that bell out there. And of course, also snacks. Make sure you have your snacks. We have your sandwiches. You usually have some times to take a break in there. And oh, by the way, it's okay to take a nap every once in a while out there too. Nice warm sun on a beautiful day, and as long as you're not moving and not snoring, I think you'll be okay. Also, you'll see there I've got a safety pack there that's also got rubber gloves in it. Again, there's lots of ticks that are out there, and again, you want to be very careful out there, so it's very important that you wear gloves when you're cleaning birds. And then the compass. Boy, I tell you what, there's been times when that turkey takes you into places that you may not know, or you're focusing on the turkey and not focusing on where you've been and where you're going, and that compass is very important. And also knowing the territory that you're hunting is crucial out there, so that you know that, okay, if I go west, I'm going to run into a road, or if I go north, there's going to be a pond there and I'm going to have to go around it. I know where I'm at. But if you do your homework online, there's some tremendous assets, mndnr.gov, and you can go on there and find all kinds of production areas, whether it's management areas, and you get detailed maps. And if you spend some homework time on Google Maps or something similar to that, you can find out how the lay of the land works out, and then you can actually plan your turkey hunts when you're seeing old forest. And turkeys love, like oak trees that have the big long arms and stuff out there. They love to roost at that at night. And it's really important for them to be able to find roosting spots like that.
Hello, my name's Brian Bergen. I've been turkey hunting for a couple years now. Been around it for quite a while, but been more serious about it for the last couple years. And want to go over a few of the different types of turkey calls you'll come across and that you can use out in the woods. Starting off, I'm going to go over a mouth call, a diaphragm. Now, if you've ever spent any amount of time walking through your local sporting goods store, you'll realize there's a lot of different varieties out there, different cuts, different sizes. Each of them are going to tell you how they make the best call, the best yelp, the best cut, all sorts of different noises that they can produce. What it comes down to when choosing one is whatever one's going to work for you. What I did is I started out simple. I went in and bought the first $5 mouth call I could find and started practicing in the car while I was driving. I spend a lot of time out on the road, so it gives me a lot of time to practice. As I've spent more and more time, I've started to develop a taste for which ones work for me. And I think that changes just based on each person too, different mouth shape, different effects you're trying to get. So that's the first step, is obviously going to find which call is going to work for you. Then putting the time into practice. We have all these wonderful resources nowadays with the internet. I spent so much time on YouTube, going through different sites, learning the different calls, not only listening to people call, but then there's videos out there of just wild turkeys making noise. We're not lucky enough where we can spend all the time outside and go listen and pick up all the different nuances of actual turkeys calling. So went through and watched a bunch of videos online and then practiced. So put some time in, and it really broke it down into, I'd say 3 to 5 different calls that we really use more than anything. And a couple of them you might only use once a day, like starting out. First thing in the morning, generally you're going to be out there before sunrise, waiting to hear the birds talking in the trees. And you'll see the tree calls, they call them, real subtle, light. No one's really talking up a storm. And those are going to sound sort of like this. Now that's a lot quieter than what I'd use later in the day, but that's really just helping to locate where the toms are when they're up on the roost, letting them know you're out there, letting them know that you want them to come your direction. Then one of the sounds that's really fun to hear when you're out in the woods is what they call a come down call. So this is when the birds are coming off the roost. They make quite a ruckus. Obviously they're a pretty big bird coming through those trees. So from the tree calls, we usually move to a come down call, which sounds like this. So obviously a kind of a mix of a bunch of different noises, but that's the sound that those hens are going to make as they're coming down. So again, just another way of letting those toms know where you're at out in the woods. I'll just kind of run through a little setup as if I was working a bird. So again, I have a tom that's working, he's been gobbling, we know we're in contact. So we'll run through a little bit of a series of what that could sound like. Some of those might be a little fancy, and I probably crammed them together a little bit, but again, with all those calls, I would be reading how the tom is responding to me and adjusting my calls accordingly. Now also, as he begins to close that distance, we're going to want to adjust volume a little bit. You want to sort of play with him. He's going to be looking for that hen. So what we want to do is make sure that we're sort of trying to throw our voice around a little bit and make it seem like we're moving around and we're alive. You don't want just a stationary, solitary tone that's coming out of there. So we'll use different tones, different pressure, loudness, all that kind of stuff to try and make it sound as real as we can.
Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we've customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds to make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
Dakota Pheasant Guide offers the best wild pheasant hunts from the Glacial Lakes area of South Dakota west to the Missouri River. Packages available include everything from self-guided to fully guided hunts. Book your bird hunting adventure now. Fishermen, iTime Promotions is your ticket to an enjoyable and successful day on the water. Call Dennis Foster for your outdoor adventure of a lifetime.
Dennis Foster here. I'd like to introduce you to the Dorado catch and release boat latch system. It's back the trailer into the water, pop the cord, and away we go. Once our day in the water is done, we simply roll the boat up onto the bunks until it achieves contact with the bow eye. It clicks securely into place. Away we go. We're exclusive partners with b2outdoors.com. That's where you're going to want to go and order your very own system. You can enter the promo code iTime Promotions and receive free shipping on your items.
When it comes to dog food and treats, you want something natural. A dog food or special reward that feeds great, is made in the USA, and helps your best friend live a long and healthy life. That's what you get with Country Vet Naturals. Natural goodness in every bag. And for those of you who want grain-free, we've got that too. Find a dealer and learn more about Country Vet Naturals dog food, cat food, and treats at countryvetnaturals.com. Country Vet Naturals, loved by pets, trusted by owners.
Forgetting about the tom, reading what she's doing when she's making those noises is going to be real important, because it can go from her being alarmed to her being excited. So between those two, you kind of got to find your little happy medium. But cutting, again, it's a real sharp, fast clucks, and I'll go through a couple different groupings of it here. Mixing those yelps in can give a sense of comfort. So cutting alone can sometimes be a signal of alarm, where those birds are nervous, they're cutting through, but if it's mixed in with some yelps, that means that hen's excited. That's going to be one of those calls that can really help close that distance. If you got one of those toms that's hung up, say 80 yards out, just out of gun range, and you need something special, getting those sharp, quick cuts in there, mixed in with a few yelps, can help really close the distance.
That's all W. Everything on this side is W. Everything on this side is W. And there's our green office. You can see the tower behind the trees over here. Yep. This is all WA. This is public lands here. There's a lot of slashings in here. Big roofing trees in here. In the A season, we had gobblers gobbling from right there. I mean, within 75 to 100 yards. There's gobblers from north. There's over here. Then there's gobblers. There's another road just not too far away.
You can actually see the toe pads, the imprints. That white stuff, that's the uric acid. So they save it all up and it's just concentrated uric acid as opposed to our urine. Right. It's the same compound, but they synthesize it differently and it just, the output is a crystalline form as opposed to suspended in a solution, and it's just a much more efficient way to process. Good. So now you know how to discern turkey poop.
Springtime in the woods. What a great time. Just to see the surrounding areas come back to life with everything from turkeys to swans to ducks to grouse. Everyone vying for the future of their species.
As I'm heading for the land of corn and rye, there is a place I'm always satisfied, full of remedies to ease my worried mind, like pulling catfish on the banks of Cherry Cove, watching wood ducks glide like angels to the shore. I'm gonna find me a dirt road and get right in the groove, and let these chains of life unwind till I get loose. I wanna roll down a window and reach out and touch the reeds, and let that crazy world out there